Budget 2014 also takes forward the major strategies that the Prime Minister spoke about at last year's National Day rally, aimed at ensuring that ours is a fair and equitable society. We are building on the broader initiatives we have taken in the last 5 years in education, work, housing, and healthcare. The changes reflect the new phase that we have entered as a country, with incomes rising less quickly and disparities between different groups becoming a greater concern. And with a growing population of older Singaporeans, often with fewer children to support them, needing security and assurance in their retirement years. It's a new phase. Our thinking has shifted in this new phase, and our initiatives are helping to level up our society and mitigate inequalities. These policy interventions also help to explain why, taking into account government tax transfers and taxes, Singapore's Gini coefficient was lower in 2013 than it had been in over a decade. We take seriously the challenges faced by our lower-paid workers and are helping them through both our economic and social strategies. First and always, we must have a competitive and vibrant economy. That is the only way we can have good jobs and rising incomes for average and lower-income Singaporeans. Jobs are the most important safety net and the most meaningful way we can keep society inclusive. Second, we are mitigating wage disparities by using tax revenues to top up the wages of those in the lowest 20% through workfare. Wages for these workers are in fact going up, as I mentioned earlier. With workfare and the special employment credit, the average older, lower-wage Singaporean will receive wages at least 1/4 higher than what their employers will pay. With workfare and the special employment credit, they receive pay that is 1/4 higher, at least, on top of what the employer is in fact paying. The 3-year wage credit scheme that I introduced in last year's budget is also working well. Wages for lower-paid Singaporeans have in fact improved the most rapidly, helped by the wage credit scheme. Our third strategy has been to tackle the problem of cheap sourcing. It is a specific problem that has required a more interventionist solution, worked out among the tripartite partners. In industries such as cleaning and security, cheap sourcing has held down pay and also led to high attrition, making it difficult for workers to acquire skills and upgrade themselves. The progressive wage model, which will be a licensing requirement for companies in both these industries, will ensure that cleaners and security guards, too, enjoy significant upgrades in their basic pay and have a pathway to improve their skills and wages over time. We are making progress, but there is more work to do. We cannot change the realities of global competition and technological advances that put pressure on less skilled workers all over the world. But we can do much more to improve the lives of lower income workers and to give their children the best chances to do well so that disadvantage is not passed from one generation to the next. And so that our society preserves a sense of equity and opportunity. Let me now summarize the major social planks of this year's budget. We are giving special recognition to the pioneer generation through a package that assures them of affordable healthcare. The budget will also set aside funds today to meet the full cost of the pioneer generation package in future. By doing so, the government is assuring the pioneer generation that the commitment we are making today will be met regardless of future economic or fiscal circumstances. By taking advantage of current resources to provide fully for this special package for our pioneers, we will also allow future budgets to focus on the needs and challenges of the future, such as in education, transport, and the healthcare needs of all Singaporeans. The budget will continue with our efforts to support social mobility. and to build a strong and sustainable social safety net. First, we will boost education subsidies, starting with the early childhood years. The earlier we intervene to help children who start with disadvantage, the better their prospects for achieving their full potential in life. We will also strengthen support for the middle income group, especially in tertiary education. Second, we will continue to enhance healthcare subsidies for both the lower and middle income groups. Besides enhanced government help, we will increase employer CPF contributions so as to increase the retirement savings of workers. Third, we will buttress schemes to help the disabled from young. Their difficulties are the greatest, and often their courage too. They deserve greater support. Taken together, our initiatives of the last 5 years, plus the further steps in this year's budget, amount to a major program to support lower and middle income Singaporeans. In fact, 2.5 times more compared to what it was 10 years ago. Both for lower income Singaporeans and middle income Singaporeans. If you add up what we've been doing in the last 5 years, plus this year's budget, we are now providing them support over their lifetimes that will be 2.5 times more than it was a decade ago. So it is a major shift. Let me illustrate what this means for a typical low-income couple, a couple at the 10th percentile of our income ladder, through the major episodes of their life. First, the couple buys a home of their own. Nowhere else in the world will a couple at the 10th percentile be able to buy a home of their own the way they do in Singapore. They receive $60,000 in housing grants to buy a BTO two-room flat with payments only from their CPF, nothing from their take-home pay. Later on, if they upgrade to a new three-room flat, they receive an additional $15,000 in a step-up CPF housing grant. Every step of their children's education will be heavily subsidized. Childcare fees will typically be just $3 a month. Then, through their children's school years, and if they go on to Polytechnic, for example, financial assistance will cover 75% of their fees, of their total fees, through school and including ITE and Polytechnic. If they go on to university, they get further support. Workfare tops up their pay by up to 30%. And if they face setbacks along the way, such as losing a job, ComCare will help. As the couple gets older, healthcare needs become more important. They will get subsidies of 70 to 80%, whether in inpatient or outpatient treatments, and for long-term care. And if they still have difficulty with their healthcare bills, Medifund will help. Taking these episodes in their life together, the couple will receive significant help from the government. Government transfers, net of the taxes they pay, will in fact exceed their lifetime incomes. However, what is critical is not just how much we spend and redistribute resources, but how we do so. Our approach to uplifting the poor and leveling up society can only succeed if it supports a culture of personal responsibility, the desire to learn a new skill and work for a better living, and to make the effort to look after our own families. We know this from the evidence of half a century of major social interventions around the world, such as in the United States and the European nations. We cannot leave people to face life's uncertainties on their own. That is not our approach. But as we strengthen our social support and safety nets, our whole approach must be to encourage a compact between personal and collective responsibility, where each reinforces the other. It is the best way to sustain a vibrant and equitable society, where everyone plays a role in making Singapore a better place.